Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize for going over time.
Gentleman yields, and I'll recognize the gentleman from Texas for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you, ma'am, for being here, for your testimony. I really appreciate you, and thank you all. I also want to thank you for your support, actually, on the approval of the Copperhead and Loving Pipeline project. This pipeline is an essential project to our country's domestic supply of oil and gas. It will further our energy independence and security, while bringing good-paying jobs to an economically deprived area. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you for supporting my bill, H.R. 7377, the Royalty Resiliency Act. This common sense fix will allow operators to pay the correct amount of royalties upfront, saving taxpaying dollars in the long run and alleviating the present honor accounting nightmare. So thank you for working with my office for that. Moving on to the President's fiscal year 25 budget request, ma'am. President Biden's budget request includes funding for an additional 104 full-time employees to your agency. How many of these new full-time employees will work in the Carlsbad, New Mexico BLM field office? Do you know, ma'am?
Congressman, I don't. I do know that we are trying to tackle the vacancy issue in the Carlsbad office. We've got 115 FTEs working there now and a table of organization that allows for 170, and we're working hard on that. But also I'm so proud of them for reaching record highs on the number of permits to drill that they're getting out the door despite those staffing shortages.
Okay. The Carlsbad office is the most active BLM office in the entire country, as you just articulated. And in 2023 alone, the office received 2,500 APDs. And unfortunately, the office is only 2/3 staff. So while you commend the workers that are putting out record output, we still have quite a long ways to go, and I think we can accomplish that. And earlier this year, I wrote to Ms. Melanie Barnes, then staff director of BLM in New Mexico staff office, to inquire about this shortfall. And according to the response that I received, the Carlsbad office still has a shortfall of 55 employees, several who are critical to the APD process and approval of these agreements. And so we need to make sure that we do continue to move forward and just get better and work harder, because they are drastically behind. And can you please commit to me today that in good faith that you will continue to communicate with my office on your efforts to be proactive as possible to make sure we get these numbers back up and get a fully staffed office in Carlsbad?
Congressman, I would commit that we will keep you apprised. Carlsbad's tough, like so many places in the West. Housing costs are going through the roof, and it's hard to recruit, but we are working on it every day.
Okay, thank you. I believe that given the importance of BLM in New Mexico, the field office, that in the COVID-19 pandemic, it's over. It's been over. There are a lot of people that are working from home still. So when we have shortages like this and people working from home, and COVID's been over for a very long time, I will also ask if your office would commit to getting these people back to working full-time to alleviate some of these numbers as well, if you don't mind.
Congressman, we are following department policy on both telework and remote, and so many of those jobs at the field level, the office is a car in the field, right? And catching up on emails either at home or at the office is a small part of the work. The work is really out on the ground.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. And lastly, just on Monday, I was in Midland, Texas. And the reason why I was in Midland is because, I don't know if you know, I'm from Houston, Texas. The entire energy corridor is in my district. The two hubs for energy are my district and Congressman August Pfluger's district in Midland. And so there are some synergies there that we are hypersensitive to and focused on. And I visited a company, and I have 3 applications here with me. This is the first one. It's roughly 7 pages. This is Texas. This is also why Texas is growing so fast, because we like to get things done in Texas. The second one is the New Mexico one. This is 41 pages. Better, but still not the Texas standard. This is BLM's APD. This is 220 pages. And I'm not trying to be insulting, but this is why companies have a very hard time when operating outside of Texas, and why America is hurting, because we have to do better than this. This incentivizes companies to want to work hard to increase their oil production that the world drastically needs. Ma'am, I'm asking you, can we please work together to get this looking more like Texas in a not so distant future?
Congressman, I'm very much interested in results, and we are producing record highs off of our public lands of oil. And I heard you last week when you said to the Secretary, but I want more. I hear you. But we are producing record highs while we're also upholding the law. And as you know, a lot of our work is held up in court, and I want to make sure that when we go to court, we win.
But you do understand that whenever a company sees this much bureaucracy, it does disincentivize them to try to do more. Does that make sense?
I hear what you're saying, but please also know that public lands are doing their part to fuel this country.
I understand. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your cooperation. I yield back my time. Thank you.
Gentleman yields. I now recognize the gentleman from Virginia for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.